In a small village near the grand city of Baghdad lived an old man named Hakim. He was quiet, humble, and known for his wisdom. As he neared the end of his life, he lived with his 5 sons. The eldest, Yusuf, was a landowner who toiled in the fields from dawn till dusk. Though Yusuf served his father, he often felt tired and frustrated. In his heart, he silently wondered when this heavy responsibility would end. Every evening, when he returned home exhausted, his father Hakim would quietly sense his fatigue. Hakim loved his son deeply, but he never said a word, simply lowering his eyes in silence. As time passed, Hakim noticed a change in Yusuf's attitude. He understood that Yusuf felt crushed under the weight of his responsibilities and had begun to see his own father as a burden. This coldness pained Hakim, who only wished to spend his last days in peace. One day, Hakim called Yusuf to his side. "My son," he said gently, "I know you are carrying a heavy load. Don't worry, I will not stay with you much longer. In a few days, I will go to live with your brother. Focus on your work and your life. Don't trouble yourself because of me." Yusuf remained silent. A wave of guilt washed over him, but he couldn't find the words to ask his father to stay. A few days later, Hakim left Yusuf's home and moved in with his second son, Farouk. Farouk was a successful businessman, surrounded by wealth, but his attitude was disappointing. He valued his business more than his family. His wife completely ignored her father-in-law, never even bothering to speak to him. Hakim spent his days in a quiet corner, hiding his profound sadness. One day, Farouk, influenced by his wife, approached his father. "Father," he said, "it would be good if you helped me with my business. At least your presence would benefit me in some way." Hakim stayed silent. His bent back, trembling hands, and weak body were a clear testament that he could no longer work. But he didn't take offense. He knew Farouk saw him not with love, but as a responsibility. Soon, Farouk's wife began to complain openly, "This old man is becoming a problem. He should live with his other sons too." Being weak-willed, Farouk gave in. He said to Hakim, "Father, if you are uncomfortable here, you may go to another son. I will give you money for your medicine." These words were like a blade, wounding Hakim's dignity once again. So, Hakim left and went to his third son, Usman, a hard-working farmer. Usman respected his father, but he had no time for him. He spent his days in the fields and his evenings with his own family. He never noticed the depth of his father's illness or the sadness in his eyes. Whenever Usman went to work, his wife would leave the children with Hakim. The old man, weak and trembling, felt even more burdened. His health worsened, and eventually, he left that home too. This time, he went to his fourth son, Ahmed, a greedy and cunning man. Ahmed welcomed his father with open arms, but only because he thought Hakim had money. When he discovered his father was penniless, his attitude soured. His wife mistreated the old man, seeing him as an inconvenience. Ahmed ignored his father completely. Hakim's health deteriorated rapidly, until one day Ahmed said coldly, "Father, you can't stay here. I don't have time to look after you." Heartbroken, Hakim decided to go to his youngest and last son, Abdullah. Abdullah was poor but incredibly honest and hard-working. He earned daily wages, and from that meager income, he bought medicine for his father and ran his small household. Abdullah's wife was sincere and kind, treating Hakim like her own father. She understood his sickness and old age, and cared for him day and night. For the first time since leaving his village, Hakim felt true comfort. His heart filled with gratitude for his youngest son and his wife. As the days passed, Hakim grew weaker. When he knew his final moments were near, he called Abdullah to his side. With a trembling voice, he said, "My son, my time is near. May God bless you. The way you have served me has won my heart." With tears in his eyes, Abdullah replied, "Father, may God not take you from us. We cannot live without you. Are you pleased with me? If I have ever fallen short in my duty, please forgive me." Hakim managed a soft smile. "My son, I have one last request. After I die, go to an old man named Jabir in Fula Street in Baghdad. Tell him Hakim has passed away, and ask him to give you the trust I left with him. Whatever he gives you, it is for you alone. Use it to improve your children's lives. And do not give anything to your brothers. Soon after, Hakim passed away. The grief shook Abdullah to his core. He informed his brothers, and they all gathered for the funeral. Later, Abdullah told them, "Father entrusted something to me. I believe it is valuable, but it belongs to all of us, his brothers." Their greed instantly ignited, said, "Go and bring the trust. We will divide it equally among ourselves." Abdullah traveled to Baghdad and collected the trust. When he opened the large wooden chest, he was astonished. Inside were ownership documents for several famous shops in the market, his mother's precious jewelry, and piles of gold coins. Despite his father's final words, Abdullah's kind heart led him to divide the wealth among his brothers. He kept only his rightful portion. Life moved on, but time has a way of revealing the truth. One by one, his brothers faced ruin. One fell into debt and bankruptcy from poor decisions. Another, who loved luxury, was caught stealing and thrown in prison. The others saw their fortunes crumble into dust. Nothing they touched brought prosperity. It was as if their father's silent grief had become a curse upon them. Meanwhile, Abdullah started a small business. He bought fine cloth from Kufa and sold it in Baghdad. His honesty, his father's blessings, and his relentless hard work brought him incredible success. He became so prosperous that he eventually bought back the very shops his brothers had lost. Slowly, he became the sole owner of the entire market. Those same brothers, who once saw their father as a burden, now came to Abdullah, begging for help. And Abdullah, carrying the character his father had taught him, never turned them away. He bought a beautiful home in one of Baghdad's finest neighborhoods and lived a prosperous, peaceful life with his family, always remembering that everything he had was a result of his father's prayers. This story leaves us with 3 powerful lessons. First, parents must raise their children with good character, so they become a source of strength, not regret. Second, children should never see their parents as a burden, because life has a way of teaching us the lessons we refuse to learn. And finally, treating our parents with love and respect brings blessings that cannot be measured. Their prayers are a treasure beyond any wealth. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspirational tales.